Hey guys, Dervy here, and in this video we're going to be covering Garuda Hard Mode. Now this fight is actually relatively hard and there are a lot of complications in this fight. I really wouldn't recommend you doing this fight in the pug unless everybody is fully geared and you know how to do the fight. There are two ways to do this fight, believe it or not. MrHappys has covered one way of doing the fight, but I'm going to be covering the other way, and this is what me and my guild have found to be easiest for us. Now I do not recommend this way to be the best for everybody. You might find MrHappys version better than mine, or my version to be better than MrHappys version, but either way you'll still get the job done. The actual way we do the fight is similar, but we just stand in different positions and do different things. So the first thing you'll want as the healer definitely is to put stone skin up on everybody. Now you want to split up the piles. All the mages and all the rangers have to split up. You want some to stand around the northeast and some to stand around the northwest, and this is because Garuda can do an attack and the attack can then spread onto everybody else who's around you, so you want to avoid as much people getting hit. The damage dealers and the two tanks will then want to go up and attack Garuda, and just like in normal mode you'll want the main tank, preferably the paladin, to stand right next to this rock and always tank Garuda at this rock. Now, Garuda does this attack called Split Screen, and it does like a massive cleave stun, and the tank has to avoid this. So whenever, just like in normal mode, whenever Garuda jumps up into the air, you'll want everybody to jump behind the rocks, and the second she jumps back to her position or walks back to her position, you'll want everybody to nuke Garuda and the plumes that spawned. So the second Garuda jumps back, you want everybody to buff up and get ready to do your massive AoEs, the best AoEs that you can. And just like in normal mode, the razor plumes can attack and explode, destroying the rocks. And once again, the rocks mitigate the damage from the tornado that Garuda does. Now, if you don't do enough DPS to this fight, you'll have to continuously avoid and stand behind our rocks. But luckily for us, our guild has a lot of DPS. We're really fucking DPS hungry, DPS scumbags. So we managed to actually skip a phase in this fight, which you will see. So again, she's going to jump back into the middle, and she's going to do another AoE. And you want to standing opposite of Garuda. And now Garuda is now going to walk back to where the tank is, if the tank gets the enmity, and then again you'll want everybody to go and use their AoE straight away to take out the plumes. You want to take out the plumes as fast as you can, and this is very important. So just kill them off, quite literally. You want to have a certain amount of rocks standing up just for a hurricane mode. So once the plumes are now destroyed, you want to go back and you want to burst out your damage, as much damage as you can to Garuda, so you can try and make her skip one of her phases. And you'll want to burst out your cooldowns, but you want to control them, and there's a reason for this, which I'll get to in a second. So now, because we skipped a phase, Garuda's now going to jump back into the middle, and she's going to summon her razor plumes. Originally, if you don't take Garuda down to about 50% of health before this part, instead she'll jump to the eastern side of the room, and you'll all have to stand opposite of her. But as I said before, we managed to skip that phase. So these razor plumes do not clump up, just like in normal mode, and you want to DPS them out as fast as you can, because they can destroy all of the rocks. And again, the rocks mitigate the damage that you'll receive from Garuda. So go back to Garuda and just destroy her, quite literally DPS her out, try and get her to the next phase. And now she's going to jump into the middle. Everybody now has to hide behind the rocks, and now we begin to fight her on the next stage of the fight, phase 2. So at this point of the fight, everybody has to stay out the way of Garuda because she can do a massive cleave, and the tank will want to then run around and get Garuda to stand around this northeastern spot. Now as you can see, these whirlwind green AoEs will start spawning around everybody, and you want everybody to stand inside this really tiny triangle which we're all in. This is because if you get hit into these little AoEs, you'll get knocked back, you'll get thrown across the room, and you will die. And eventually Garuda will now jump up into the air, and she will summon 2 of her adds. Now, each one of these adds do a different thing. Soprana, who has a green line to Garuda, gives her a massive health regen. So the second you see Soprana, you want to lure her out, and you want to take her out as fast as you can. Now, you want all the mages and all of the DDs to preferably stand where everybody is situated, as you can see right now. And in this part, we had the secondary tank, the warrior, to tank Charada to the south of the triangle. Now, the triangle motive, or the triangle position, is really important, and this is because both Charada and Garuda can do a massive sweep, and they can attack, and they can really damage the tanks. This is why we split all the packs up, so we can take them out one by one. And don't be too scared about Soprano, because Soprano doesn't do much damage. So take out Soprano, then take out Charada, because Charada gives Garuda a buff to her damage. And now we're on to the second phase of the fight. And this part of the fight, the tank will have to kite Garuda around the room, but not too fast so the melee DPSs cannot catch up with Garuda. Now, I do not recommend this. In this part of the fight, because we're all guildies and we are all a mumble and we can communicate with each other, we decided not to attack the Saturn Plume. You will want to take out the Saturn Plume if you are in a pug, and this is because the Saturn Plume can then come and sleep up to 3 people, even 4 people, and this is very, very dangerous. So once you've gone past that phase of the fight, Garuda will then spawn the massive purple AoE, and you want everybody to run to the north of the AoE, whilst the tank takes Garuda to the south, and then you want to DPS Garuda out. And eventually Garuda will now jump out and jump to the farther side of the room. You want everybody to then stand where we're standing around this northern spot, and then you want to go and lure Charada and Charana and Soprano again and kill Soprano. Well, Charada, sorry, I got their names mixed up, I apologise. You want to take out Charada, because Charada, the one with the green line, is the one that heals Garuda. And again, just like before, you want to go back into the triangle formation, and Millie, the warrior, wants to take Soprano to one side, whilst everybody else takes the green line one, Charada, to the other side, to the northern spot. And please remember, when Garuda jumps back into the room, she'll do a massive AoE stun, which is why you want everybody to stand around the outskirts of the arena so you don't get hit by this stun. Now, this is the part of the fight where we differentiate from MrHappys' guide. Instead of taking Garuda to the south, like in MrHappys' guide, we took her to the north. And again, just like before, you're in the kiting stage, and you want to kite Garuda around the room, slowly but surely. And again, the Saturn Plume will spawn, and you want to take out the Saturn Plume if you're in a pug. If not, if you feel that your communication is good enough and you really believe in your healers to cast Insuna, then they can use Insuna to take out the sleep. And the reason why you don't take out the Razor Plumes is because the second she goes into her next phase of the fight, the Razor Plumes will automatically disappear. Now, we take Garuda to the south of the room, and in this part we go back into the triangle formation like we did earlier. The tank will have to take Garuda up to this southern flag. If you can see, just outside of the room, just outside of this whirlwind, there's a flag, and the tank will have to take Garuda there. And now, back again, we're on to the part where the two monsters spawn, and this time the one with the green line, you want to take her out, and the second they start moving into this corner, you'll want one of your mages to cast Meteor, and as you can see, Meteor did a hefty amount of damage to Soprano and Charada. And once you take out Soprano, go on and take out Charada. Now, please remember, you have to take out the one with the green line as fast as you can, because Garuda, well, she gives Garuda a regen heal. honestly, it will just make the fight even longer if you don't take her out. And this part of the fight, the tank then takes Garuda back up to the north, and originally what is meant to happen is that everybody's meant to run through the middle of the room around the whirlwind, the green AoE that spawns in the southwestern corner. And then once again, we're back up to the other stage of the fight where we're back on kiting Garuda around. And then we just keep repeating, and you keep repeating this over and over again. So take out the Satiplume if you're in the park. If not, then you know, don't take out the plumes. And just keep DPSing Garuda. And remember, tank, don't walk too far ahead, otherwise your melee classes will not be able to attack Garuda. And of course, this will just, you know, it will just make the fight longer. And again, now she'll then go back into the middle of the room, and in this part of the fight you just want to burst Garuda down as fast as you can, and that's it. If you don't kill Garuda at this part of the fight, she will then spawn her 2 adds, and just like before, you have to go and take out the 2 adds. So hopefully this fight has helped you, and I'm very sorry about mixing up the names between Soprano and Shirada. Just remember, green line you kill first, red line secondary tank takes out. And hopefully this guide has helped you, and well, I hope to see you guys in my next video.